Hello and welcome to this live stream. Sorry, my mic kept muting itself there. So today I am going to be hosting a discussion with a couple of people talking all about YouTube and Airsoft videos on YouTube and all sorts around that area. So let's get cracking with that and get straight on into it and introduce some of my hosts. So I've already said that we've got Tom from AATV joining us, and he should now be on the screen for you guys to see. And also Mark from Thin Brown Line. Now, we all do fairly similar videos in terms of we like to just sit in front of a camera and talk because, well, in my case, I'm fat and lazy and don't like running around all that much. So we thought we'd get a special guest in to help out and talk about some kind of more the gameplay side of things. So I was going to do a Stiglite intro for him, but I can't think of one, so I'm going to hand it over to Tom or Mark. Mark's going to do one for us. So, Mark, if you want to jump on in and...
Some say it's testicle shaped, just like an Evo scorpion.
And others say he only gives out the finest blaster BBs. All we know is... He's cool, Will Greenwood. Hello, Will.
Yay! I tried so hard to keep myself at first line laughing at the left testicle one.
Oh dear. Right.
Not many people know about my left testicle. Sorry.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
So good. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for agreeing to come on. So first of all, I thought it'd be useful for everyone who on the stream to kind of see what kind of content between us we've all created. And I've just this moment realised I haven't actually made a little splash screen for my own content. Basically, go on YouTube and type mediocre airsoft videos, and I'll be in there somewhere. Oh yeah, just hit after hit after hit for us. So I thought I'd go around the squares. So we'll start off with Tom. I'd consider you to make pretty well polished, structured, informative videos.
Wow.
Yeah, well, it's high praise there. So you guys aren't going to see it, but I'm going to roll a quick clip for everyone else who's watching on the stream. So without further ado, we'll switch over, and here's a little extract from one of Tom's videos. Mm.
Very clever. Lovely beard.
Howard, I think you guys are muted while this is on. So Tom, how old do you think that video was? Because
that is I believe about 2 years old.
Right.
I think it's almost our most popular video that we have.
Yeah.
I'm gonna not reshoot it, but reimagine that video in the next month or so. Some stuff off. It's said by Silent Grades. So yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, no, that. I mean, I picked it out as one of your most popular videos. Hang on, the comments are saying the sound is not that good.
Apparently we're echoey.
Okay. I honestly don't know what to do about that. Making sure you're not spewing out on my speakers. That might be the start.
That might
be.
Yeah. Okay.
That's 100%.
Yeah, you're definitely not spewing out my speakers. People in the comments, is it still bad or are we still right here? It might be. Is it because it's showing me loads of Skype inputs? Let me just try.
This echoing.
Hang on.
There's a problem with the sound, everyone's just saying.
Yeah.
Would you all believe we did a tech call?
We did do a tech call, but I didn't check the audio of the stream.
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Hang on, it might have been that it puts all the audio in on each track as opposed to individually. So I've tried turning down all the tracks bar one coming in from Skype. Hopefully that works.
Yep.
Can everyone in the chat still hear the other host talking? So if you take it in turns, Tom, can you say something? Or not?
But doesn't
No,
want to talk.
he's taken a vow of silence now.
I don't know if you can hear
Still
us.
bad.
Tom?
Tom?
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, yeah. You're right, mate.
Yeah, I was just checking the sound out on YouTube. You see,
Ah,
actually doesn't sound that bad. But
okay.
Oh, okay. And it's not my fault, Alan. You can nick off and all.
I'm probably going to be blamed for
Yeah.
something, so I'm just going to say it's my fault, right? Because that is what usually happens.
Okay, I've just checked the audio on the stream. I think it's getting better. Is it getting better for everyone else? I apologise because it's the first time I've hosted a full-way call.
A couple of people have just put it's all good now, or it seems better, so it's
Brilliant.
not too bad. I think it
Excellent.
might have just been
Which means I can
Sure.
roll on to our fancy new feature of having the comments in the video feed as well. Anyway, so Tom, you were saying you think that video was probably one of your most popular videos going, and you're going to remake it.
I think it is the most popular video we've got on the channel. But I want to remake it because there's a number of things we could do better, and one of the things I'm sure we'll get into talking about is wanting to improve your content and pushing through stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's also got the channel a lot of attention because it's that kind of. I hesitate to say scientific because it's not really. Scientific rigor would need a lot more work, but it's pseudo-scientific enough, and we've got enough faith in the results that we produce that we're happy to talk about them. So I think.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was just pulling up your channel, and indeed, yeah, it is actually your most popular video by 4,000 views at least.
Woo!
Right, so we'll move on from Tom. We'll go down to Mark. So again, you guys are going to have to wait to see this in the stream, but for you watching it, here is a little snippet from one of Mark's favourite videos. Here we go.
Ooh. Easy thing. Let's take a look. Idea.
that.
So, so I'm sure you guys are catching up on that now. But I love that intro. That's just a great kind of slapstick humour, and pretty much summarises
Which kind of sums up what my channel's like.
Yeah, you don't take yourself too seriously and do stupid
The
stuff.
salt-based screwdriver's real good.
Oh yeah, and
Thank you.
I love the body slam as well. It's a great little finisher. That.
Oh, damn right. Got to drop in the elbow drop there just to finish the
finish
goal.
it
Yeah, we got it. It's how you fix
Yeah.
guns.
Oh yeah. There's a story ages ago. Someone had a Tommy gun that wasn't working at site, and he was asking one of my mates to help him out. And my mate managed to knock it off the bench, and it fell on the ground and made a big thud. And they were there like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And the dude's like, "No, try it," and it worked fine. Percussive maintenance fixes anything. So,
Damn, what a
That elbow drop, for the record, actually hurt.
yeah, bleeding for the passion there.
A big bruise.
Okay, so that came from one of your more recent videos, I believe, on the channel.
Yeah, it's one of my breakage yard buys that I'm still working on.
So would you summarise that as one of your kind of typical style videos of a bit daft with sitting in front of the camera talking and showing?
Me mucking about being a daft person with breakage yard buys and other
Excellent. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. And finally, for everyone out there, we'll go. I've dug up back in the ancient archives of YouTube one of Will's videos. So so I'll hit roll on this.
Check him out. Oh.
Jesus Christ, that's Jason Bourne.
Funny.
I love that video so much. I just love the humour. Like, a lot of people I feel take video gameplays very seriously, and you just gotta. It's not a serious sport. It's not a sport really. It's not a serious hobby most of the time. It's just about having fun with your mates, and you sometimes you just got to spice it up with a bit of that.
I used to take it seriously. I used to take it very seriously, and I learned very quickly that you can't be someone who wants to be a really nice guy in Airsoft and take it seriously, because it doesn't go hand in hand, because you get a lot of aggression, because unfortunately when you want to take it seriously you want to win, and then when you want to win you get really competitive, and then those two don't really work in some aspects of Airsoft, because people seem to get they feel like you're being aggressive, but that's a whole different conversation. You know, that's another whole other and stuff.
I found I've tried a whole load of different
Well,
stuff.
I think we'll probably get into that later, Will, when we talk about trying to capture footage and the difference between playing and trying to capture gameplay footage, which I think should be a really interesting discussion. I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yes.
Right, okay, so we've covered that, and I've just realised we haven't covered a huge topic that we were meant to at the start. What has everyone brought to drink and keep themselves hydrated throughout this? I'm starting off with some Disco Forklift Truck Pale Ale.
Ooh.
Ooh, hang on, I'll hold that up to the camera there.
Oh, nice.
Is it pretty?
Indeed. I haven't actually tried this yet, so I might just throw up in disgust. But I've been recommended it.
That was a tenner.
That's not bad, actually. I'm pretty happy with that.
Oh, good.
And Tom's been winding us up, so what's Tom drinking? He wouldn't tell us before.
You're
just going to down it now, the whole keg?
So it's got I've got a 5 litre keg of Mitch Connor from our local brewery, Totally Brewed, and it's very good. So it's a hazy New England Pale Ale.
Excellent.
Nice.
But yeah,
I'm just on coffee.
Just on coffee.
Just on boring coffee.
So might, but I've taken to it extremes.
Excellent.
Yeah, you've gone crazy with yours. It's like huge.
It actually says Fat Boy on it as well. Which kind of sums me up nicely.
Nice. Excellent.
It's a four mug cup.
Ooh,
That's a lot of
lovely.
coffee. You're not going to sleep tonight, are you?
Sounds good.
Sleeping for a week.
Indeed. So, right. So we kind of covered a bit about what our channels were, and well, for most of us, still are. Well, I guess you've kind of hung up the airsofting badge for the time being, or forever? Would you say?
So for video making and recording, at the moment I don't see myself doing it again. But if you know me as a person, you know how very sporadic I am. I'm very impulsive. So I'll sit there one week and be, I don't really want to do it. And then all of a sudden I could be sitting going, I kind of want to make a video. And I'll just go bang, and I'll buy everything and go do it. I am so just impulsive, and I can't help it. It's just my personality.
Yeah, but that's understandable. I mean, you got to dabble and keep changing it up.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Okay.
always.
So now that we kind of covered that what we do. So one of the things that I think is important to try and figure out if you're going to start doing YouTube is why. And I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I wanted to do it because I wanted to better the community, or I thought I was good and wanted to put my stuff out there." But a lot of the times, people do it for other reasons. So I personally, I've always liked making videos. I've done it for since I was a little kid. I always used to make little stupid videos, which I'm not going to show because they are all awful. Uh, and they're also probably lost somewhere, and I can't. They're not on this computer, and they're not on that computer. They're on my old computer somewhere.
All the excuses.
I'll have to find some of my old GCSE work because I did a GCSE in photography, and there was one video I made. I pressed X to massacre. That was a classy bit of work, which ends with a massive school shooting. Not the best.
Brilliant.
I can't remember what the brief was. I can't remember if it was something like imagination versus reality, and I was like, I want to make a shoot 'em up video. So I did this whole thing about someone not being able to figure out if they were still playing a video game or if it was real life, and then it ends up with them thinking they're chasing a bad guy into a building and ends up shooting a classroom full of kids.
Wow, yeah. It's a cool concept, and it's quite a lot of concepts that's actually been used in anime. So it's cool.
Yeah, and also I was 16 and wanted to play with toy guns and make a film. Yeah, that's when I got my first airsoft gun. I bought a Springer L85 to use as a prop in that film. But yeah, so I've always wanted to make videos, and I've been messing around with gameplay videos, well, like filming them for a while, and never really edited them because I always looked at things like Jet Desert Fox or Novrich or at the time Bodchups. I was like, oh, these guys are so good, and then I'd watch my footage back and be like, well, I tripped over there, I broke the MP7 by falling on it there, I got shot up there, I completely missed that dude, and then he shot me in the back. What am I going to do? And so I kind of sat on it for a while, and then eventually I actually properly started doing YouTube when I got a 3D printer and wanted to show off the cool stuff I was making and seeing if people were interested in it. Nice. And it was kind of started off as a one-off video, and then I was like, hey, I could do it again. And then I started going, oh, I actually quite like this. It's filling up my evenings instead of just sitting around watching TV. I'll start trying to do it once a week and set myself that goal. And then, then the stress came, but we'll talk about that later. So we'll go around it backwards this time. So Will, why did you start making videos, or when did you start? Do you want to go through your history of?
So I started in 2016, and I remember the first ever game I recorded, and it was at the jail. And it was the first ever time I recorded it, and it was with a Yi action camera, that I'd cable tied to my helmet. I've still got the photo somewhere. I could probably find it, but I cable tied it to the top of my helmet just so I could record. And it was like I think it was like a £30 Yi action camera, and I was just getting into it and just went all out and just started then, really. And you know, I don't ever lie about my reasons for doing it. And the reasons for doing it was I wanted to be popular and famous on the Airsoft YouTube scene. I wanted to be known. I wanted to become popular, and it was massive vanity. It was nothing for that. I liked making videos because it was hard and it was time consuming and it was tedious. But I loved the gratification I'd get off of people saying, "Oh, nice video, man. That was really cool." Or "You looked really cool." Or you did that and it looked really cool. And that to me was gratification enough to make it. And I'll never ever lie and say I did it for the community, or I did it because I enjoyed making the videos. I enjoyed the pure vanity from it. That's 100% truth.
But at least you're open about it, because a lot of people do it because of that, but don't admit it, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. I think if you're willing, if that's your driving force and it means you make good content, go for it. It was fun. Because really what you're saying there is, I want to entertain people and I want to know that people are entertained, and that's what YouTube is for, entertainment and education. And so you're taking off that entertainment section, I think.
That's cool. I'd say, it worked for the most part.
Well, seeing as your channel, despite being dormant for over a year now, still has more subscribers than the rest of us combined on this this live stream, then so yeah, it seems that you did something right there.
It worked. It worked to a point, and I should have really carried it on.
Well, it's a thing. Like, we'll get on to why you stopped later, probably.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think the big thing you should take away from it is don't feel obligated to do videos. If you don't want to do videos anymore, stop doing videos. Yeah,
that's another thing where we could talk later about all that, because that's a strong one. That's a real strong one.
Right. Okay. So shall we move on to Mark? What got you into the YouTube scene, and why do you do it?
Well, partly because I enjoy it, because I actually do enjoy making the videos when I actually get round to doing them. Partly because I just love guns. I mean, I've got a few now.
How many? Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I think your mic went a bit weird there.
It's got a 5 in it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 59. Or is it 60 now?
That is
either 59 or 60. And every single one purchased myself. Not a single one has been given to me. Oh, actually, no, one for my birthday.
Oh, that's it. He's sold out. Sold out. Don't trust him.
Yeah, sell out. That was actually where I got my first M4 from. It was bought for me for my birthday. But no, I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy sharing some of the knowledge I've gained. When people say, "Oh, I watched your video, it helped me do this," but yeah, mainly because I enjoy making the videos, and it's a laugh to see what people put back to stuff that they've seen of me.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big part of it, especially for smaller channels that can actually still do a kind of one-to-one interaction. It is interaction and interacting with the people you're watching your videos and seeing what they think and seeing how you can help them. Or at least for me, that's part of the reason I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, I enjoy the questions and being able to actually answer questions when people are asking, how have you got around this issue, or how have you got around that issue? And I'm able to just go, me, tap, 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 this, or make a video on it.
Yeah, that's good. So moving on again.
That's good.
Tom, what about you? What was your start in this, and why did you?
So I was writing for Airsoft Action magazine, and also going to the pub with Gadge Harvey, and talking about airsoft and war-y stuff in general in the pub, and boring our respective partners and friends to bits. So they largely went, well, you're waffling in front, you're waffling here. Why haven't you got a camera? Why don't you stick it on YouTube? And then we spoke to the editor, who was quite happy for us to launch under the Airsoft Action brand at the time. And yeah, and then the format's changed a few times. We started off as two blokes having a coffee, talking about the latest issues or about our respective articles, which didn't really work. It just wasn't really engaging. It wasn't anything. It wasn't. You've already kind of mentioned the kind of entertaining and the information channels. We were just. There wasn't really anything there. It didn't sit anywhere on that kind of interesting spectrum. So we quite quickly changed the format. And what we effectively did is, when we'd written an article, we'd film it. So if we were going to a site, we'd film it. If we were writing an article about webbing, we'd film it. And that it was just along those lines. It was to leverage the material we'd already had or already written or were about to write in a video format. And a lot of it was about, because the magazine system, even the greatest will in the world, is going to take you 4 weeks to get from article to press. And generally it's a lot longer than that. And if you write a review and then it's printed in 2 months' time, well, it's already been scalped by a million other people on YouTube or in a blog. Yeah. That's about immediacy. So what we wanted was some more immediacy. It was also a way, it also meant I could film an episode, and it helped pay for the episode, because I would then write that up and take the freelance fee from Airsoft Action. So it was never really kind of a goal as to it wasn't really like Will, it wasn't really like yourself, because I was never a filmmaker. I'm a product design engineer by trade. I no longer do that. So it just kind of happened, really. Yeah. And obviously, I like the acclamation. It's been really nice, and it's been really nice building a community, and it's been really nice addressing some stuff. Mainly now, I use it as a platform for stuff which really annoys me, like people like just conjecture or I think this happened, or kind of bro science in airsoft.
Yeah,
Massive bro science.
So I kind of really like the kind of MythBusters stuff and the kind of challenging bro science and bits and
Oh, you
bobs
need
like
to
that.
get you need to get
And just
voiceover then.
and just trying to be I don't know, trying to be the informative, the sensible, informative side of airsoft, and just try to be trustworthy. That's what I really want to be. I want to be trustworthy.
Well,
That's awesome.
Well, yeah, you even state it on your banner now. Facts, not fiction.
Yeah.
I honestly think you've portrayed that very, very well. Definitely the trustworthy part.
I don't think there's
Especially-
another channel on YouTube that I'd watch that I'd consider to be 100% truthful.
Me too. No review channel ever. No matter what they say, they are powered by someone. They are powered by money, by someone else, by another company, or something like that, or some another external factor where they're told to do something. But Tom will have an opinion on something, but if a fact goes against the opinion, I said this to Tom yesterday.
Yeah,
so he's the only person I've ever met who, if his opinion gets proven wrong by a fact, he will never, ever, ever go against the fact. No matter how much it hurts his opinion, he'll go, the fact is right. And he'll talk about how right it is. And he's incapable of lying about facts and evidence. And that is what is the most trustworthy thing about Tom and his channel. That's what I believe.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's all good. You've worked hard, man.
Yeah, no, it's a very good channel, and I think you've kind of got your stride going now, and you understand what you are and what you're doing, and you got your pattern down.
It took a while, actually. It took a while to find what it was, because we didn't, and that's something we'll probably go into in a bit. But we didn't know what we were, and we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know what we were. We didn't know what we were trying to achieve. We didn't know how we were going to get there, and we didn't have a plan. And it took a while to kind of establish the channel and find its feet. Really.
Absolutely. So I think we've talked about our kind of reasons now for why we got in and how we started making videos. I think we should kind of cover what if you're looking to do videos on YouTube, what are good and bad ideas for why you should get in and what you should expect. So if you're coming in because you want to get 10,000 subs and just get loads of sponsorship deals, it's probably not the best way to start a YouTube channel. You've got to look at it realistically and go, I enjoy playing Airsoft. I've got some cameras. Maybe I should do something with the two, and then start doing things. But don't expect suddenly to get 1 million subs and 1 million views.
I definitely recommend, if you're looking to do anything, if you're looking to do gameplay, I'd recommend you looking at the big guys, people who are already established, looking at their editing techniques, looking about how they do things by watching their videos. Pick up on the little things with editing. That's the main thing, and how they keep your attention. That's what I used to do actually quite a lot. I used to sit and I used to watch my competitors. At the time was Matt the Musketeer, and I used to sit and watch his editing, and I'd be like, there's no doubt that Matt has made the best airsoft videos in YouTube for as in videos, as in gameplay, and making it gripping, because he came from a gaming background with high levels of editing, where no one in airsoft actually has that high level of editing like Matt did. Like some of the transitions and the actual beat transitions he did were not low level stuff, really. It wasn't hard, it was just very time consuming, and it was good work. It was good work. And if you didn't have the right software, you couldn't do it. That's another thing. And it's definitely worth looking at other people's work, seeing what works, and then putting your own style onto it. That's very important as well, is finding your style, because that puts you above everyone else, because people will adopt to you for your personality more than your video. Yeah. And that's always a big one.
And actually, that's a good point bringing up Matt. It's been shown before that he does edit things out. Because, funnily enough, when you play an airsoft game, it may seem like a really, really intense game the entire time. But when you watch it back on camera, you're like, oh, hang on, I spent 20 minutes huffing and puffing and reloading all my mid caps there. I stood in this door for 20 minutes because I thought there was someone on the other side.
Yeah, you cut it out.
You just cut it out.
Yeah.
And that is, if you're going for entertainment, absolutely go ahead, cut it out, make it really cool, make it really intensive. Cut that 2-hour gameplay down into a 5-minute piece. But on the other hand, my opinion of gameplay is a lot of people will watch that and go, "Oh, is that what Airsoft is?" And then they'll come and play and go, "Hang on, this is nothing like what I've seen. Am I just really bad? Probably shouldn't do this anymore."
Feels like disingenuous.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think if people brand it as
I think you just need to be sorry.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, I think you just need to be honest about what it is. This is a heavily edited video, entertainment video. There's nothing wrong with a heavily edited entertainment video as long as you're honest.
It's a story.
About it.
Yeah, it's a story.
Yeah.
Like a storyline. That's what you've made. This isn't uncut. This is an edited story for an Airsoft day. And I think, that's how Hidden Hedgehog used to put it when he came over to Airsoft. He'd be like, I design stories that are entertaining, not actually an uncut video of my gameplay. And it was pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that I don't see there being anything wrong with doing story videos. I think they're quite cool because they can show you, hey, this is what it's like to be in the thick of it. But don't expect every person to have this experience. Which is
it was always like Matt every single game day was getting 70 kills and 1 death. Like, it doesn't work like that. He's the best player in the world, and a 12-year-old with a rental runs around the corner and messes you up. It's how it is. Like, it's the game, and that it's spawns. It's everything.
So
it's everything.
I think War Hero has hit it nail on the head here. It's exactly the same as playing video games. You're not going to pick up a new video game and be instantly amazing at it. It takes time, and it takes continual playing really to get to the point where you can consider yourself good at Airsoft.
It's definitely little things, loads of little things, which are very Airsoft orientated, especially when people try and take military tactics into Airsoft and it doesn't work.
Oh yeah.
I will be the first one to say, right, that peeking corners as an airsofter is a lot different than peeking corners as a shooting a real fire round, because the fact that I can go like this with it, stock over my shoulder, then have the gun here, see it at that sight, and so you can only see that, and I can still fire it. It's impossible to play against if you get someone like that.
Yeah, and it's
military tactic.
If someone's holding that corner from a distance and they've got 30 round per second gun, and an airsoft gun doesn't have any recoil, they're firing 30 rounds. They're all going into the same spot. They're not spreading over a giant area where you might be able to peek and not get hit.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one, that for sure, trying to bring real steel tactics into Airsoft. But I think we're getting a bit off topic there. But
tangents.
That's a completely different topic. But on gameplay, so there is a lot of gameplay which is heavily edited, and you've got to know what you're doing with telling a story to be able to make good, engaging gameplay. Because at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're making an action film at that point, and that's why a lot of good gameplay footage has lots of extra camera work in it, because it helps set the scene. Because if you're trying to make a gameplay and you've only got one camera, cool, but it really limits how you can edit it, because it's very clear that you're editing it at that point.
Yeah, it looks choppy.
Yeah. Whereas if you've got a couple of different cameras, you can cut between them and you can cut time out and people won't notice it. Yeah. So one of my old videos before I started under the mantra English Kiwi was from jail, and it was about an hour game, but a lot of it I cut out because I only wanted the decent parts. And there was like 10 minutes where I was holding a door, where I was just leaning up looking at this door, and all I did was cut the bit where I walked up to that door and looked down my sights, cut to the selfie cam looking at me, and then cut back to my head cam and me going in the door. 10 minutes straight out.
The selfie cam is a great one for transitions.
Exactly.
It's brilliant. It works like wonders.
Yeah, and the thing is with selfie cams, a lot of the time you don't have it because you want to show off your face. You have it so you've got that extra clip to cut to.
Transition.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you got a cool kit, you look cool when it looks at you. It's a bonus.
Guys, do you want to explain do you want to do a brief explanation for the guys that don't really know what cameras you might want to run if you're looking at doing,
absolutely.
Cameras and camera positions that you might want to run if you're doing gameplay
So
footage.
a couple of people have different opinions on these. So some people say if you're only going to buy one cam, buy a scope cam, and I would disagree with that unless you're going to make solely a shot compilation video. If you're going to go for, hey, look at all these sweet hits I made, crack on, scope cam is the way to go. But if you're actually trying to tell a story about, oh, this was my day airsofting, or be a bridge, head cam, something like a GoPro, it's the way forward. And either you run it with the GoPro head strap and run it on your head without a helmet and maybe a hat over the top, or you can get, I think you can get hat clips for them, or you get a helmet, which I don't have one easily accessible, with a MVG mount on it, and get a GoPro MVG mount.
I don't own one.
Yeah, and the one thing is like different brands. I would honestly advise people to go with a brand that's compatible with quite mainstream parts for reverse cams and cam boxes. I was a bit skeptical when I first started using like the run cams because it came with their own little mount. I'd recommend you getting either someone who does the 3D printed ones, who do one forward and one reverse in a little pet box looking thing. And the reason I recommend that is because everything designed on it puts your zoom cam exactly where the BBs are going. And it made a huge difference for when I used a 3D printed one to the actual run cam original one. And it just made editing, shooting so much easier. I did use Mobius's. You can also use a Mobius if you want, the new Mobius ones. That if you want cost effective, I recommend you getting a Mobius camera.
So I pretty much exclusively run Mobius Maxis at the moment. In fact, I even have one that's torn down and turned into like a point of view cam. That's going to fall off that way around. Hang on.
While he finds that, Badger Squirreloff, who's a member of our team, he's put, what about the Mega Zoom camcorder scope? I had that strapped to the top of my M15.
So that's how...
And I used it as sort of as a scope because it's got massive zoom on it, but I was recording run cam footage. That was a £5 off a car boot sale, so I was like, I'm using it.
That's how Bodjops and Novrich started, was just a big camera like that strapped on the top. And now pretty much the same thing can be done with one of these. And then this is one torn down so it mounts onto my goggles, so I can have almost a point of view.
Yeah, the Mobius Max is very good.
I love them.
The frames per second on them, you can get really good slow motion shots, which I like.
1080-60 I run all of mine at the moment. They give out really nice quality, certainly usable quality for airsoft purposes, and they're really easy to change to being zoom cams. It's a 5-minute job and ordering an M12 lens online. So if you're looking to start...
Or you can get the run cam that comes with it pre-installed.
So there is the run cam specific scope cam, which I think is about £120, £130. And I know Novrich has basically rebranded it and is selling it as a Novrich scope cam as well for about £200, I think. So...
monopolising, if you can.
Why not? Do you guys feel like you play differently when recording? Absolutely.
No.
I was saying this earlier when we did our test stream. There have been game days where I've been playing with cameras, I've been having a crap day, and then one of my cameras goes down, and I'm like, you know what, sod it, I'm not going to record anymore. And then suddenly I just have the best day. But it always seems to be the way.
I find that I don't seem to play any differently when I'm recording, on the very rare occasions I do actually record gameplay, because half the time I forget that I've even got cameras on, so I just carry on doing what I normally do.
Yeah, you have the stuff you've done has been a bit more documentary. It's a bit more.
Yeah,
Rather than trying to tell a story or trying to entertain, it's more of a, this is what happened on my day, and you pick the good bits out, but it's a very different style.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I even leave the me getting shot in.
So the reason I'll tell you right now that I play a lot different when I'm recording to when I'm not is because when you're recording, I learned lots and lots of little things about how to make footage look good. And that came from a lot of times of getting home, looking at the footage and being really annoyed with myself and having 6 hours of ruined footage. And it's little things like not pushing. And it sounds really weird. I used to speak to the marshals, and this is how sad it got. I used to speak to the marshals everywhere I went if they did a defend and attack game and ask if I could defend twice instead of attacking. And most people would see that was unfair because I did get special treatment. I'm not going to lie, I got special treatment. But they went, okay, of course we'll. And the reason behind that is because what you need to do especially if you're using a zoom camera, is when you shoot someone, you have to stay looking at them for at least 2 to 3 seconds unless you're shooting between players. So you'll go bang, 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 right? And you'll hold the camera up and hold your gun up after you finish shooting. And the reason behind that is so it doesn't look choppy when you're editing. So if you go bang and then put your gun straight down, you'll get loads of fast movements. Yep. But if you're shooting it, it helps so the frames basically keep up and everything stays smooth when you're shooting. And it makes for really good footage. Now, what I used to do is it's like little tactics and what I was taught, when you lift your gun up when you go into rooms because it's easier to go down than it is to go up. What I would do is I'd actually pivot corners and always throughout the whole day keep my gun up. I'd never put my gun down. And the reason behind that is because I wanted that smooth footage. I was knackered at the end of the day. I was so tired, because I had to do all this extra work, but I'd mainly pitch up somewhere that I know would be like a bottleneck or a pinch point where I can get those shots. And I'd sit there for the entire game. And if I died, I'd sprint back to the spot. I'd go to spawn and then sprint straight back to that spot and hold it. And it's that little commitment. And that's probably where I started not to enjoy it. Because my whole point is I like to rush. I like to run in and be like quite aggressive play, but not aggressive as in anger, but as in fast paced. Yeah. That's a better way of putting it. More fast paced.
You like to be on the front line.
And but when you're recording, you can't.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't because you don't get anything, and it looks terrible when your head's flying like that and your camera's going everywhere. It looks terrible, and there's quite a lot of things to sacrifice.
You end up finding yourself thinking more of camera angles and shots that you can get rather than actually getting the shots.
So
100%.
So do you think that's why most of the big gameplay channels are sniper channels? Because they pitch up and they hold nice and steady.
Maybe.
Because you can get the nicest footage off of it, if you think about it.
Yeah. It's exactly that.
Admittedly, some of my nicest footage has been from sniper shots. When I've had a camera set on my sniper rifle, I've taken a shot, and you wait to see if you hit them anyway. So yeah.
That's what I got from it.
So Matt's come back with he doesn't run cams while playing because he's running a M249. I think machine guns are probably the only other thing where you would actually have a stable enough platform to get...
Yeah, look at Alphonse.
Yeah, Airsoft Alphonse.
Alphonse, his HPA.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's another reason.
He's got some mighty thighs.
I tell you what, Alphonse does not give a shit. Man, he's like, the community's like, oh, don't fall auto people. Alphonse is like, ha! He loves it. He absolutely loves it. It's like he's like, his last video where he hit the guy with like 80 rounds. He hit a guy just sprayed him with 80 rounds. And he was like, ha! It's so different. I was just there like, dude, how are you getting away with this?
Most sites, if you did that, it just started lighting up on people.
Yeah. He's just like, I'm just hosing them down.
That's almost as bad as Keep Up My Patch vid, where they just light up that kid.
Oh, yeah. No, that was bad. Yeah, so I researched a lot of the background on that. And he actually turned up his FPS to like 650 as well.
He cranked his tank up.
It was bad. But he's banned like everywhere. His name was banned from every site.
Good.
Rightly so.
Yeah.
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 It's such a meme, though, isn't it?
It is. In fact, it's on Urban Dictionary. You can search up "he burnt my patch" and it comes up with an entry.
No way.
Oh dear.
Same as the no full auto.
Oh
in the
my
building
god,
one.
yeah.
I love that one. I love
That
that
one
one so
appears every
much.
5 seconds, isn't it? No full auto in the building. That's not full auto.
Damn, okay.
It's this reaction. He goes, "Oh, okay."
Right.
Yeah, those were. That's how I changed when I was playing Airsoft.
Yeah, I found that that the best footage for videos is where I'm running my DMR and I set up somewhere and hold that point, because again I'm pretty stationary and I'm just switching between targets and it works pretty well.
Yep.
Whereas when I'm in attack mode and I'm running a SMG or one of my assault rifles, and
Gun goes
it's
down.
moving all over the place. And
Yeah.
I tend to wobble across the field, so there's a lot of vibrations going on. It turns to crap very quickly. So
See, my trademark thing, which if anyone ever watched my videos, was always thank you. I don't know if any of you ever. Yeah. So whenever I shot someone, it'd be thank you.
yeah,
I
always try to say like good take
Always.
or well done mate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's what Airsoft is. It's effectively tag at range, and you gotta thank the guy for or the lady
All
for
tag.
taking the hit.
Yeah.
It's all about honesty, really. So I guess we've kind of covered gameplay stuff. Maybe we should talk about the other side of things, which is the kind of sit down chat, informative, or even the maybe like vlogging and talking with cameras side of things. So if people are thinking about getting started and want to do that sort of stuff, what would we suggest? What should they do?
Use your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Simple as
That's
that,
all
really.
I'm using at the minute.
Yeah, I've only just got a what people would call a proper camera, as of like 3 weeks ago, and this is only the second video it's been used in because I've only just got the capture card to plug it into the laptop. And everything up till now, other than the first 10 videos, were done on the family DSLR, which didn't have an external mic port, so it was all done in. So the sound quality on the early stuff's terrible. So the only thing I would, if you're going to do a sit down or a walkie-talkie chatty thing, get a mic, some form, a Rode video mic. Generally, a video mic goes, and go straight into your phone, and then your sound quality is 10 times better. But that's all you need, and a little phone holder and a tripod.
Yeah.
So 100 quid probably.
And I would recommend if you wanted to do any form of tech videos, get one of the travel tripods, because they normally have it so you can invert the head, so you can put the camera below the tripod, which is how I do.
I've got one of them tripods.
Or
There you go.
or
Yeah.
a scissor arm.
That were £1.
So this is what I use for my overheads now. This is quite an expensive Rode microphone arm, but you can get microphone arms on Amazon for like 12 quid. And then I've just got another phone holder just in there.
Yeah.
So this can either take my mic if I'm doing voiceovers, or it can take my phone. My phone effectively just goes up here, and then it's super simple, stable, nice, easy.
Brilliant.
And again, relatively low cost.
I've gone even low cost than that. I've got a £30 tripod with a phone holder on top of it and my contract mobile phone. And then I've got a 35, 40 quid set of Bluetooth earphone headset that I use.
Nice.
That's it.
I would say if you are vlogging or doing sit down stuff, audio quality for me is probably it's where we went wrong. I would worry about your audio way more than
Absolutely.
anything else. Your
A lot
phone
of
has
people turn
a
straight off
camera.
the audio's crap.
Yeah, your phone is a camera that's perfectly good.
Well, as people were saying in this chat, the audio's crap, and then I watched the viewer figures drop away in the first couple of minutes there. Now we fixed it; it seems to have stabilised a bit. So,
Audio.
And as it says, that one person left.
because
and you don't need. I've got some decent mics now. It does make a huge difference, but you don't need brilliant. You just need to not annoy people.
So,
and I'm pretty sure we lost loads of subs early on because, well, actually, if you look at the early videos, which now aren't down, I've taken them off for production reasons and other stuff.
Best way. Yeah.
Most of the comments on that is your audio's crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It annoys people enough that they've left comments.
Well, especially for your type of content, because your kind of content, a lot of the time, you can just have on in the background and not need to watch the video. You can count it as a podcast.
Yep.
Yeah, you listen. It's informative.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So I've got a little lapel mic here. I think it was like £8 on Amazon, and you can plug it. It's got all the different adapters, so you can put it into phone jacks. You can put it into your PC recording. And that I've used on videos, and no one seems to complain about the audio quality on that. So, yeah, do that if you're going to do a talking head bit like this. Or I've got a Rode mic here that I'm using at the moment.
I used a Blue Yeti.
Blue Yeti, those are kind of the kind of like standard of gaming vids.
Yeah.
They were good. They're now not very good.
Oh, really?
Because Blue got bought out. So they're now owned by Logitech, and they've cheaped out on the electronic
really?
side. Yeah. So if you've got an old one, great.
I've still got an old one.
Don't get a new one, because they're totally cheaped
Oh,
out.
Will
on
with
the
this flex went like that.
It was so good. I was like, I got the old one.
The retro range.
It's only the last couple of years, but don't buy. I would recommend not buying a new one. These are quite good.
They were like the go-to.
This is the new Rode NT USB Mini. That's pretty good. But honestly, a lapel mic is probably the most you can get. Range of prices, but it's really not expensive. I've got some nice ones again.
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
In fact, there's one sitting on Will's right hand side on the desk at the moment, which I gave to Ben.
Yeah.
There's a.
It's what I'm using.
So yeah.
Yeah, for me, I mean, you can ramble too much, but now I think live streams is the place for rambling.
Absolutely, as we're demonstrating so aptly here.
As we demonstrate massively here. Yes. But if you're going to do even informative stuff, it still needs to be entertaining. It's very dry.
To be fair, if we all messed up, we'd all be rambling anyway.
Yeah, so there's a balance between informative and entertaining. Most of the entertaining stuff on my channel comes from the relationship I have with my co-presenters. So my friendship with Gadge, or my friendship with Ben, or my friendship with Phil, that's what comes across, and that little natural bit of ribbing. If that was a completely cold presentation with a presenter I didn't know, it'd be quite difficult.
It wouldn't work.
And the channel started on the fact that me and Gadge have known each other for 20 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
So we pick up on. There's lots of little things we pick up on with each other, and we can.
Yeah.
It also really helps.
Similar.
It really helps to co-present. It's a lot easier. If anyone that's tried to sit in front of a camera and just talk at the camera, it's really hard. I think we can all probably all agree that it's just really hard just talking to a camera by yourself.
I found the way around that,
and it's a lot more fun when you're co-presenting as well. I mean, I found when I have Spectre on, we bounce off each other. We've never scripted a single thing in our lives, but we bounce off each other and it all just flows. And B, before, during, and after, having so much of a laugh, I end up cutting loads of it out. But we have that much of a laugh.
Having more material is not a problem. Just then you get a harder edit.
We can sit and do an hour-long video and just then go, oh, hang on, this is only supposed to be a 10-minute-long video.
Then you have to cut it all
because we've just been having that much of a laugh. It's so easy when
If you can co-present. It's always good to have talking points on a board or on a wall or on a bit of paper.
Always.
You can scripting's quite hard unless you use an auto cue, which is probably that's another difficult thing. I don't tend to do that. My other thing would be if you can shoot in 4K on your phone, it'll eat memory, but it's worth doing, because when you come to edit, if you've got a laptop or a computer that can handle it, when you fluff your line, all you have to do is zoom in.
Yeah.
So if you edit in 1080p, you've got loads of extra, and then all you have to do is just do a zoom cut, and it looks like part of the presentation, and it isn't. If you look at my State of the Channel one I did recently, it's doing this all the time. That's because I was largely unscripted and I was struggling. But actually, it flows reasonably well because I'm.
That's a staple of my channel.
Genius. Genius.
All of my videos, if it's just a talking headpiece, it will be zooming in and out.
That's it.
Um,
I use that as an excuse when I forget to turn my autofocus off. Then.
or use two phones. If you've got two phones, you can run two phones and have one at a 30-degree angle off.
No.
I will be doing that.
And again, it's just like the forward face. It's just like the selfie cam, guys. You use the same. Use a different camera transition. Angle. Use a different camera angle to hide your transition.
This is one of the things I like. I always like to drive home is if you can film with as many cameras as possible, because it just gives you more material to work with. You don't have to use. You might have a camera off there, like top down, looking at the back of your head. you're probably not going to use it, but at least you've got that footage in case you need to just take a quick cut away and you can throw it in as a comic gag.
Yeah.
Who's nice, even if you use borrow someone. If you don't, just use one and shoot in high quality you can and just cut in and out. Makes life a lot easier.
Absolutely.
Purple Helmet says zoom cuts are
They really
life.
are.
Yeah. Well, guess where I picked it up?
Yeah.
I used to watch these videos. Go, these are really cool. I really like these zoom cuts. It's really entertaining, and it keeps the viewer engaged because the angle changes. And I was like, I bet I know what he's doing. So I think it's just simple stuff. But if I were to say anything, audio.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's loads of stuff. There's loads of stuff on YouTube about audio and YouTubing. If you go, just go and have a really good look at that, because people know way more than I do. But audio. If you're doing informative stuff, most people, as you say, will have it next to them, and they'll be doing something else. They'll be making tea, or they'll be having a bath, or they'll be doing something. So audio.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Admittedly, a lot of your recent live streams, I've been cooking tea whilst the live stream's been on.
I've been working whilst watching your live streams.
And if you do informative stuff, think about live streaming. I should have live streamed a long time ago, but it was really scary.
Yeah.
And it was only during lockdown that we decided to do it, and it's worked.
It really has. I've enjoyed doing live streams. It's quite an interesting way.
It's brilliant for informative stuff because you can answer the questions in real time.
Yeah. And the other thing is, it's actually pretty good for getting viewer engagement up. Believe it or not, I thought it wouldn't be. I
agree.
I would have thought people would be like, I don't want to watch it now. But I've seen normally I'll get like a kind of small spike when I release a video, and then it will kind of tail off. But with the live streams, I've noticed I get a massive spike with the live stream, and then it continues to stay quite high for the next couple of days afterwards.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I did not expect that to happen at all from live streaming.
Badass. Actually, that's pretty impressive.
I think something we can probably all talk about is building a community. Which you either do it consciously or you do it unconsciously, but you certainly start. I've certainly got the same people commenting on my live streams more often, on my videos more often, and it's nice to engage with those people. And on a purely mercenary level, that's going to drive engagement. So you engage with them, they're going to engage with your channel. You're going to get more views and hours.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever clocked on, but I reply to everything.
Oh yeah.
Everything. Absolutely everything.
Reply to my Instagram comment, didn't you?
I reply to everything. Dude, I will always reply. And the reason behind that as well is, one, I don't want anyone to feel like, I'm coming off rude. Is a big one. And also, it's very, very good for Facebook and Instagram and YouTube metadata. And how it works is basically, if you are making a point on posting and interacting, because it's an interactive platform. The whole point of it is to socialize. What happens is, because Facebook see you as interacting and socializing, they boost your posts, and they boost what people can see of yours across your friends list. Sorry.
Oh, absolutely.
And they'll see that you reply and you talk to people and you get comments, and it'll keep putting you at the top of everyone's feeds. And that keeps you relevant, because I'm an attention-seeking whore. But yeah, that's it. I actually Google.
We hadn't noticed.
I Google. Oh, this is so sad. This is how
Filmmaking, mate.
Relevant. Yeah, I Google pretty much every week little things that change within metadata and words and Google AdSense. And there's another tip that, if you guys ever need it, is if you Google the trending words of the week for when you upload and put them in your tags, or you can incorporate the trending words of the week or trending phrases of the week in the title of a video. It puts your video to the top of metadata. It puts it to the top of being searched, because Google AdSense controls the bloody world. Okay, so if you look up AdSense words and look for the most trending word of the week or the most trending phrase of the week, and you can incorporate that, it gives you a little boost in the game.
So at the moment, apparently the top trending word on YouTube is PewDiePie.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Followed by.
Of course it is.
ASMR.
That man is a Swedish god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Kajelberg.
And then, okay,
Like,
so,
Kajelberg.
at least you're honest, Will.
yeah, on the topic of titles, so going back to kind of informative stuff, I certainly, because and it's something I never really did, because I always know the fact I was not felt I was worthy or good enough. I've only really just got the self-confidence in the last few months, really, about the channel. I know it sounds mad after doing it for 2 years. But it's, yeah, as Will says, it's being sensible about the titles that you're using and trying to get people. So generally, you're trying to answer, certainly for an informative YouTube channel, you're trying to answer questions. So you're thinking about what question actually is someone typing into YouTube or into Google, and does your title either have that question and an answer in it, or just has the answer to that question in it. And you can bury that in your title and in your description and in your metadata tags and everything else as well, and you will get better hits off the back of that. So it's just thinking about, because ultimately most of us do this to get some form of exposure, and that's how we get our affirmation.
Yes.
So it's great making videos, but if no one ever watches them, then it's fine if that's all you want to do. But I think we all want some interaction, and we all want a bit of traction, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. And one of the biggest things, actually, I find in a lot of YouTube mainly is uniformity. So being uniform in your thumbnails. So
Are you wear uniform?
It's huge.
So yeah,
dude, to the point where you can look at it and go, "That I know whose video that is." Do you know what I mean? Just by the thumbnail. And also, here's a little tip for you guys. A little tip.
Just a tip.
If you've got a human face in your thumbnail showing an emotion, people are more likely to click on it.
I've only just started doing it, and it works.
Because, basically, it's human psychology. If they see a human reaction, so for example, I used to put like an "oh my god" face, like if someone going like that. If I was putting like a reaction, like oh my god, he dodged my BB, like so I'm just being like that kind of face, and it's someone automatically getting that emotion and wanting to feel it. That's why they'll click on it. It's crazy. It's so many little techniques, and you get it by looking at the big channels and seeing what they're doing.
Yeah.
I think I've pretty much
I've tended to avoid. I think there's a difference between, and I had this chat. This came to me on a live stream recently, and I was talking to, I forget which one it was, but we were talking about. There must have been one of the social media or the state of the game live streams, and we're talking about how you drive engagement, and it's a shame that channels like mine, for example, don't get more traction. And you're like, yeah, but that's probably also because I didn't do those things.
Yes.
As well as trying to be and as I said, it's all great trying to be worthy and do the right thing and not use clickbait and not use attractive thumbnails because you think you should be more serious, But actually, if you're trying to get your message out, you need to do that kind of. You don't have to go down the "oh my god, I shot the cheater in the face" stuff, but having an attractive thumbnail which drives engagement, which is interesting, and I think that's important if you want to get your message out to the people.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think you get what I'm kind of trying to say. It's all good having this information, but if no one watches it, what's the point?
Mark will know this because I was writing the tags for the Witcher AATV live stream, and he's on the thing, and I'm like, shall I just throw M4 in there? And suddenly, boom! Way more viewers than we normally have on those sort of things.
Yeah, it was on our last live stream. Obviously, we continued chatting after live stream had ended, and he was finishing up all the editing for YouTube to actually keep the video up there. He goes, right, I'll just start putting my tags in now, puts an SAAT in, like, his video was third, by the way. He was typing away, I wonder, just went tap, tap, M4, whoosh, thousands of views.
Of course.
Well, that's about what the question is, isn't it? So what questions are people asking? And then try and
best to do.
Best can do. So yeah, I think that's the kind of the informative stuff in terms of, and just you got to be. I think one thing. I think are we going to come on to just talking about you've got to be interested, really.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to love it.
You just got to love it. You got to love it. If you don't love it, particularly as most of us aren't getting, really, actually, I get a bit of advertising money, but it's really very small. It basically would pay for a tank of petrol a month. If you don't love it, you ain't going to do it unless if you're kicking Mustang or Novarich, it's different. That's a business, right? So even if they hate it, it's a business, and that's a different thing. That's going and doing your job.
Yeah.
If you're starting, and even then, you really want to, it does help to like your job. That's a fairly normal factor in life.
What you've got to find is what's your why. What's your why? That is the biggest one I can say is find your why. Why are you doing it? What's your why?
Yeah.
That's the best advice I could say. If you can tell yourself every single time when you're doing it, that's my why. You saw it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Part of my other reason is I like to show off my new guns.
So wait, Mark, you're saying your why is because you're vain about your projects?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no.
That makes me feel sick today.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing. Again, it's going back to if you're getting into this because you just want to get loads of subs, then maybe you shouldn't be doing this, because if you've not got the drive to make the content, make content because you want to make content, then you probably shouldn't be making content.
Agreed.
I think it's better if you've got a solid business plan and backers, and you're driven and you know what you're doing, and you're doing it for financial reasons. I think you can grow really fast.
Of course you can.
Grow really fast if you're quite brutal about it and you don't care, and you do not care about other people's opinions. You can grow quite fast.
If you set out to do it as a business, you can be very
different story. I don't think we're
like the rest of us.
I don't think we're talking about that tonight. It might be interesting at some point to get someone on that does it as a business.
Yeah.
But from this is very much fine. The reality is this is pretty much all I do. I'm like semi-retired almost, but it's not a business for me. This is my major hobby really.
Yeah.
So I've got to love it. I've got to enjoy it. I love investigating and digging into things and finding out what makes them tick and how far that sciencey stuff is largely what I used to do for a living anyway. When I was assessing products and trying to break products and I've always enjoyed that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I do. I love messing around with airsoft. I love airsoft in general, and I love getting into the guts of guns, and that's why I wanted to share my love of what I do in airsoft with everyone else, because a lot of people like seeing how does this gun work, how does it take down, what upgrades can I do, what crazy stuff can I come up with myself and make. That's part of the reason. If you don't have a drive to do to make content, then you really shouldn't be making content. I think that's what it boils down to.
Yes. Find your why.
Yeah. And actually, we've seen that before with quite big channels have gone, you know what, I don't have a why anymore. It's not fun for me. I'm just going to stop. So we've got Bodge Ups who was one of the biggest channels at the time, who just went, you know what, I'm done.
The UK, he was leading. Yeah, he was leading.
He was. And then and the other
in views,
other big
in
one,
everything.
Level Cap. Do you remember Level Cap?
Level Cap Gaming.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
I used to watch his videos. Were really good. They were like Matt the Musketeer style edited as well.
Yeah, and
like they were really good videos. And he said he got too famous, didn't he? And he didn't like it.
Yeah, he was just like
he couldn't play.
Yeah, he was like
turned up to a site and just got mobbed.
Yeah, I tried to sneak up on the enemy, but then I'd just have a horde of 12-year-old rentals around me.
Yeah,
I'm like, hang on, if you've got a horde of 12-year-old rentals,
get footage. It was like playing.
And that's what Will wants.
Go, my minions!
Yeah, human shield me.
No one knows this. It's like when you play rugby as a junior, and basically it's just like 15 players running around following the ball.
Yeah.
It's all
no structure.
No structure. It's just one bloke at the front and a big mob behind him. So it was like that. So he just turned up and people just follow around trying to get on camera. And people from his side would run to the other side to try and get on camera and all sorts.
Yeah.
And just meant to say, he just stopped. He just couldn't get the footage, and it just wasn't entertaining anymore.
Yeah, which is what.
But then, Will, you've turned up at sites wearing balaclavas and stuff.
Yeah, that was it. So, yeah. So basically, at the end of
this is not the Will you're looking for.
When Will Greenwood Approves meme was at its biggest, right? And my channel was booming from it as well. Like I was getting good views. Not amazing, not like a million or like 10,000, but I was hitting almost 10,000 views a video at one point, and it was going really well. And I got to a point where I would turn up to the game with a balaclava and I'd take off all my patches that I'd used to wear, which would let me know it was me. I used to literally game on all throughout the whole day. Lunchtime, keep my balaclava on, and just be discarded throughout the whole day, just for a bit of relaxation. Honestly, it makes I'm making myself out to be a celebrity when I'm not. But I would honestly get people be aggressive with me, or say I haven't taken my hits because it's me. And the biggest experience of that was, and this was actually a mistake, but people read it as that wrong. And I went to a site. I'm not going to say what site it was, but I went there, and what happened was something was posted on a community page after, and it was, I played today. There were so many cheaters, and Will Greenwood was there. Right? Now, what happened was everyone went, I can't believe Will Greenwood cheated. They didn't read anything. They saw my name in it and cheaters, and I got like 400 messages of people going, "You're a cheater. You've been called out on the pages. Oh, I thought you were a nice guy. You must not really be a nice guy." And I'm like, what? It wasn't even a day I was recording. I went there just because I actually went to go meet someone for the first time, like who was following me on Facebook, who we spoke to a lot, and I went there to go meet him and play Airsoft with him, and then all this stuff kicked off. And I was just like, interesting.
Yeah, but I think that's partly everyone wants their 2 minutes of fame. And if someone goes, oh, if I put up a post about X person who's got this much interaction saying that they're a cheater, then there's going to be a crap ton of interaction on that. And I'll be the one who said that.
Yeah, I got slated. I was getting slated by people who've never met me, being like, yeah, I met him once. Hey. Yeah, I was like, I've never met you. This is not true.
It's not the first time you've been harassed, is it? You were saying about you getting banned because other people were posting memes about you.
Yeah, yeah, but I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people posting things, or people who try purposely to be negative to get a rise out of me. Probably because I don't on the internet. Like anywhere you can look up anywhere on the internet, you will never ever, except maybe one group, that's it. And you'll never ever get me being like publicly aggressive to people, because I know it doesn't work, and I know how the internet works, and I know how people can manipulate things, and it's sad, so sad that I have to. You have to monitor yourself so much like that, and to the point where my response to people now is, let's have a beer in real life and talk about it in real life over a beer and see what happens. Because the internet, you can't win.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't win the internet.
You've got to remember that everyone's wearing a keyboard armour on the internet. So
you've got to. You've got to be that smart sniper.
And like
that's
you meet them in real life and they won't even want to talk to you.
Hi, mate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Midlands Airsoft Fair last year, I couldn't even approach Tom. I knew Tom was there, and I wanted to say hi, but I just was like, no, can't do it.
By the way, Tom is very
stood up in the wings. Hey, yeah.
Everyone, Tom is really approachable.
He is. He's very approachable. But I was nervous and didn't want to go say hi, and thought you'd just be upset and be annoyed that someone else was pestering you.
No, I met a few subs. It was really nice, actually.
He's a really nice guy.
It was really nice to meet. Mark Greenaway particularly commented a few times on. He's probably in the chat. Yeah, he is. I met Mark, and it was really nice. He came up and said hello, and it was lovely, actually. And so one of the weird things about Midlands Airsoft Fair for me, I've always been like, oh, I don't have that many subs. But I walked around Midlands Airsoft Fair, and every single bloody retailer, shop owner, brand manager, everyone knew who I was. I was like, oh, right, okay, so that's my channel, is it? That's that's my audience. That's my audience. Right, okay, that's fine.
No, I've met a lot.
It was really weird. It was really weird. I was like, all right, fine, okay.
Yeah, I've met a lot of my subs, because a lot of my subs are actually from my local site, which is always really funny when they know that our little team's playing. One of the first games is, they'll split off into two groups, like, skins and bands, whatever. And the amount of people go, ooh, Thin Brown Line are playing, exodus over to our side. It's like, no, we need to go people over the other side, please. Because they know how many guns we bring.
Well, yeah, it's always a good one though.
Well, yeah. If you got superior firepower, then why would you want to be on the other team?
I only bring 9 to a game day.
Jeez.
Minimum.
That still leaves over 50 in your house.
That's because they all break, Mark.
Yeah, it takes me. I've only irreparably broken 1 on a game day, and that wasn't even mine.
Oh dear. Where were we?
Right. So I think we were.
Yeah, where were we?
We were on the how section. So we've talked about if you're doing sit down, talking head stuff, phone is the way to go if you're starting out and don't want to invest lots of money. And even if you do want to invest lots of money, don't invest it. Your phone is still great, and just get a good mic because mics are the way forward.
A lot of the time, the phone cameras are better than quite a few of the cameras you can buy and spend thousands on the camera.
You need a level of expertise to run a DSLR or a Micro Four Thirds or properly.
Whereas your phone's one button.
And whereas your phone will do it all for you and probably do a much better job until you get your shit
the amount of times
away.
I'm there like, hello, camera, focus. But
Yes.
You've not turned your mic on, or you plug a mic in and it's too hot.
Yeah, just got it.
And it's like, and all you hear is, you're like, oh no.
Well, it's my the AK review that I did. I go back and watch it, and I can't watch it. The audio is awful because I was wearing not a lapel mic. I was just wearing a general mic that I had clipped onto my clothes, and the entire time all you could hear was just, "Oh, that's shirt rustle. That shirt rustle." That. So invest in your audio quality because that's what will keep people there. Also,
audio.
if you've got a soothing voice, that tends to help with channels.
Rather. So.
People like that ASMR stuff. I had to look up. Someone went to me, "Oh yeah, you've got a really good voice for ASMR," and I'm like, "What the hell is ASMR?" And I had to go look it up.
I bet you were hoping it was something a lot more simple than it actually was.
Oh, I don't know. I think you get pretty good with was it sensual chewing down on microphone?
Stop.
Taking a dark turn.
Yeah, and okay.
Yeah, let's move back
and
on
then coming
track.
back round, gameplay footage. If you don't have cameras, then depending on what you want to do, if you're going to do just hit compilations, then you're probably best off spending a bit of money and picking up a scope cam. Again, about £100, and you can get them. Or if you want to do storytelling effectively and showing off your game, getting a head cam, whether it be a GoPro, which, hang on, I'm having a quick look on Amazon. You can get a Hero 7 Silver, which is perfect, better than the head cam I use, for about £180. Or you can pick up a Mobius again.
That's come down low.
That's an amazing price. So that would do 4K at 60.
4K, is it 4K 60?
Yeah.
4K 30.
7
So-
inch, yeah.
4K 30, but you still get, and then it'll do 1080.
It's the Hero 7 Black. It's the Hero 7 Black that
I've got the black that does.
Okay,
Yeah,
60.
anyway, we're getting geeky. But maybe you guys want geeky
But
stuff.
Anyway,
or you can pick up a Mobius. Again, this is the Mobius Maxi. I think it's £70 without an SD card.
30 quid.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
Don't go skimping out on SD cards.
Yeah.
That's one.
No.
And a lot of the times,
Okay,
the
that's
cheaper
okay.
action cams that are GoPro cloned aren't the best. So I'd stay away from them
No,
and
they're not.
instead go for something like a Mobius or a Run Cam
They're
if you don't want to spend on it. Because for about 70 quid, you get something that does 1080-60, or I think it does 1440p at 50 or 48 frames a second. And this will happily sit on like the brim of a cap.
Yeah.
Or you can mount it on the side of your helmet. I haven't seen anyone do an MVG mount for these, but still, there are options with this. It's a slightly different form factor to a GoPro, but still small and light and pretty useful. And then get footage and see what you can do with it. I guess. Oh, that reminds me.
Them cheap ones, them cheap GoPro clones. These the actual camera quality is not too bad, but the sound quality is 9 times out of 10 absolutely rubbish on them. So they're all right if you're going to be doing some like gameplay footage and you're going to use it as like a helmet cam, but you're going to have sound, like voiceover or music playing over the top. If you're going to use it to try and capture the sound, don't.
Or
because the sound quality.
One thing I recommend as well when you're syncing is syncing. For one, is when you sync your cameras, I recommend you doing a really loud noise or something that spikes the audio. Because what happens? Clapping. Or something that you can spike the audio so you can align it in editing and you know exactly where you're at. That's one of the biggest things I had to learn.
Absolutely.
Which is why I don't bother. I play a soundtrack over if I do it with those cameras.
Should we talk about editing
that's
software?
What I was going to say. So, hands up here who has paid for editing software. Okay, so half of us.
Yeah.
So Tom, I'm assuming you use Final Cut Pro. A very good bit of software. I used to use it quite a lot actually, up until I moved away from Mac. And Will, what did you buy?
Sony Vegas Pro
Vegas.
12. I ran Sony Vegas because it was the editing software I ran when I did gaming.
Okay.
It was the biggest one, and everyone was like, "Yeah, you got to use this one," mainly because of subtitles. There's more things you could do with subtitles because in games it's kind of the big thing to put subtitles and animation and all that jazz.
Yeah, I agree. Up until fairly recently, there hasn't been a really decent free bit of video editing software for Windows. iMovie on Mac is great.
If you've got a Mac and certainly if you want to do informational stuff, iMovie is absolutely fine. It's basically cut down. It's basically a cut down version of Final Cut anyway. So it's got all the hardcore editing and image processing.
So it's a whole different, just kind of a very very big segue. But Final Cut used to be very different to iMovie. So Final Cut used to look a lot more like Premiere Pro does, and it was because it was originally Final Cut was a cinema level video editing software, and it was used on big release pictures. And then really Final Cut has now become a prosumer bit of software as opposed to a proper pro level bit of software. And so what they did was integrate it into the point where you could go from iMovie to Final Cut quite easily and understand that transition. So that's why a lot of the kind of professionals have started to move away from Final Cut and go to other things. But anyway, that's a bit of a side. It's still a great bit of software for the stuff that we do and for gameplay. You could easily do gameplay stuff with Final Cut because it does have features to sync cameras.
It's got phenomenal syncing ability. The auto syncing stuff, you can sync 6 cameras at once, and then have them all running, and then just transition between them, and you literally do it on the fly. So you get 6 views. Your main, and then you have your 6 cameras, and you can literally just chop on the fly, and or rewind and
so
choose
it's almost
which one
like editing
you want to go
like
between.
you're editing a live performance. You just
that's really good.
Which is what I do on the range. A lot of the range videos.
And
is what I use.
So the software I now use is actually a free bit of software, but it is a professional bit of software. It's called DaVinci Resolve, and it's made by a company called Blackmagic. And Blackmagic make pro-end gear. They make Blackmagic cinema cameras. They do all sorts of professional end video, like live video editing systems.
Wow. That's a really good tip.
And it's a great bit of software. And it started off was DaVinci Resolve was the color grading software, and it was the industry-leading color grading software. And then they've just expanded it out. And so there is DaVinci Resolve and DaVinci Resolve Studio. And if you buy any product from Blackmagic, you get Studio free with it. And if you want to buy Studio, it's only like £300 to just buy the license for it. But really, all it is just adding some extra effect things into it. So everything you've seen on my channel has been done with DaVinci Resolve. And there is a whole load of stuff. So they've got equivalent, their kind of equivalent of Adobe After Effects built into it. Obviously, there's color grading built into it. They also have proper, decent audio editing stuff, which I don't touch at all. I literally just use the cut and dash editing windows, and then maybe sometimes the effects window.
I think the most important for me is the rendering.
Yeah.
I have found with the DaVinci.
You can make a great video. You can make it look really good in the editing software. Then you can render it, and it looks absolutely terrible and you sit there and go, "What did I
This is
do
the thing.
wrong?"
Like, if you don't know how to set up your renders, then all your work's for naught. And that's the thing with DaVinci is it's quite a high level software to use. Like low level software, because it is quite hard to get into. So iMovie, so for example, iMovie abstracts most of the work. So it's just like, oh yeah, just drop and play, hit export. It's already got all the predefined settings for you done. DaVinci is kind of the opposite, because it's designed for professional use. They expect the people using it to know how to use it. So a lot of the time, if I'm doing anything other than just editing videos together, I've got to go and search up and like learn up how to use it. But
I was going to say that it's got a very steep learning curve.
But for me, that's fine, because I've done a lot of video editing before, and I've used various bits of software, and I'm just rolling on that knowledge and going, oh yeah, I kind of understand how this works. I expect to know how to do it. But if you're starting cold, you are going to have to go and learn it and watch a load of stuff on it and just experiment with it.
Yeah.
Which you've tried.
I've got it, and I've not put out a single video of it.
Getting excited to
Oh yeah, come on, Will.
Yeah, like talking about this is actually making me want to make a video.
Do it.
See, I told you. This is how I am. I sit there and I get excited about it.
We'll go on a road trip, and we can do a cool vlog around that.
I'd be.
Yeah, or even start my hit compilations again.
I'd be.
Do our beer channel.
I'd be interested in seeing that again.
Yes.
My free one is even simpler than everybody else uses. I just use Movie Maker 10.
And that works. It works fine. It does exactly what you need.
Yeah, any of you guys have seen my videos, my videos, I'm more content focused as opposed to all the editing focused. I do a bit of editing, so there'll be a bit of writing up here and there'll be a bit of daft cutting here and there. But for what I use it for, it's enough. That, and I'm still trying to learn DaVinci.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Every time I sit down and start editing with DaVinci, I kind of go, I'll edit that one in Movie Maker and I'll come back next time to
This is the thing. Like, it is a very, very cool bit of kit, but it does have that learning curve. So,
if all that sounds really scary, most phones have a video built in.
Yeah. My first videos were filmed, edited, and uploaded all on my phone.
Or if anyone's got a tablet out there, they make great little editing pads, so you can film it and edit it.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Which is a good little tip.
I think
the
something
first
there
10 videos are all on the phone.
We've all picked up on is that you don't expect to get perfect results the first time out.
Well, how? Let's put it this way. So when I started, I was using quite a DSLR, a decent DSLR, and I had DaVinci Resolve, and the quality still wasn't the best. Like, even if you have all the good gear, it doesn't mean that you're going to make great videos. It's better to learn by doing than expecting to just buy all the good stuff and all the big YouTubers are using.
That's like Airsoft in general, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't get good Airsoft by buying your £1,500 Marui level 9 upgrade.
No,
absolutely not.
Jump straight in.
But the thing is, you will make mistakes.
Oh yeah.
You will. And saying that you won't by doing what we're telling you right now is a delusion. You will make a mistake, but the best thing for you to do is once you've made that mistake, is go, in the next video I'm not going to do what I just did then, or even when I'm playing next, I'm going to hold my gun up a bit longer. I'm going to get better footage. And you learn by these little tips and little tricks that you get from the frustrations of not giving up, of just carrying it on, and you just carry it on. And yet again, it comes back to what's your why. You go back to what's your why, you think about it and go, yeah, it is worth it. Yeah, it is worth it. You weigh it out, and if it's worth it, you'll do it. You'll find a way. But if you get to that point where you go, this is stressful, this is really upsetting me, is it worth it? And then to that point where you think, is it worth it? And you sit longer than 5 minutes, that's when you've really got to think to yourself whether to carry it on. Definitely.
So on that note, we have been going for 1 hour and 40. I propose we take a quick break, mainly because I need the loo, and just have a quick refresher, and then we'll come back and talk about realistic expectations and the kind of instead of the technical side, let's look at doing the kind of personal side and the
Okay,
personal thing.
yeah.
So I'm going to splash back to our live stream splash screen, and we shall reconvene in a couple of moments. So stay tuned. Right, we are off for a couple of moments.